good afternoon, or good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're located. Thank you very much for joining me today, and pleasure to be on with you. I know already, even with that greeting, you're probably noticing that we are missing Rush Olney today. Of course, co-president of Family Office Association with me. Rush is a little bit under the weather today, so we're going to wish him well and welcome back in the new year. This is actually our last FOA Live for 2023. And so looking forward to kind of making this a special closeout show and also set the stage for what to expect as we jump into the new year. I do have just some general housekeeping items, very minimal. And we're really going to use today to kind of do a recap of the last several months and thank yous, and then talk about what's going to kick off with us in the new year, starting in January. So, of course, with the first being a Monday, we'll be with you the following Monday for our return to the live shows. It's been now about a year since I had the opportunity to join Family Office Association, initially supporting the growth and expansion of operations. And that, already was a privilege to be extended that opportunity, thanks to Mike Packman, chairman of FOA. And then as we, made our way into 2023, being offered the opportunity to take on the role as president and ultimately as vice president. Rush and I have worked together for some time on a number of things that I knew he would really be a great fit to collaborate on the continued expansion of the community. And so that's been really a pleasure this year. I think, last week we were doing some follow-ups and having conversations after the time at Miami Art Week with so many of you, and that was such a tremendous week, and we're already looking forward to next events and reconnecting with everyone. But the comment was made, by an attendee, by one of the families who was with us, that FOA really is a community far more than a group or an event. And I found that to be such an incredible compliment and so moving, and also, really an indication that the community is accomplishing exactly the goal, and that is creating that sense of an extended family, professionally, personally, providing the support system that people enjoy being a part of and growing. So, that comment alone was a great way for me to gauge, at least in that one situation, that again, we are accomplishing really the goal with Family Office Association. And that falls into, a few key pillars. The first one being helping multi-generation families preserve the legacies and the wealth that they've accumulated, and to transition that and help transition and support that to the current family office leaders and to the next generation of family office leaders. And so when we say next gen, I always find that gets there is a stereotype associated with that, but of course that spans all ages and certainly all backgrounds in terms of industry, and so being able to do that and to provide that central hub where families know that they can come, and Family Office Association memberships are whole families. So certainly that includes parents, kids, wanting to create a welcoming environment where the education, the resources, the events really does provide each of the key areas that a family office needs to preserve wealth and thrive going forward. And then also we have the pillar of making an impact. And so as families achieve their optimal success and find that they are flourishing and continuing that path forward, really aligning that with what family members are most passionate about in terms of paying forward or making an impact and contributing time, finances, whatever that is appropriate for the family and means the most to them, and through whatever form, whether that's through direct involvement, through foundations, through charitable efforts, etc. So all of those pieces are really important as far as rounding out our work with all of you. So thank you. Over the last couple of months, we actually added, as many of you are aware, our On the Rise program. and that's for our wealth accumulators who may not be family offices yet in terms of, again, kind of that number that gets thrown around for investable wealth, but then also from a structural standpoint. And so our On the Rise program is really meant for those who are going through exits and accumulating wealth and know that they want to be on a path to functioning as an organized family office and have procedures in place and controls and a roadmap going forward, and getting the right support and advice from peers and from the professionals on our resource council team. And so with all of that in mind, we really want to make sure that we double down on the efforts of supporting that part of our community as well. We have a tremendous resource council that's come on and largely reformed over this last year. And so really, as we look at 2024, you're going to see as our path forward some changes in a really positive way. We've spent a lot of time in 2023 on incredible signature events in various destinations, whether, we started the year at the Phoenix Open and Super Bowl. We continued on, of course, through a number of industry events and family office events. We, of course, were in Montauk with a number of you over the summer. We were at the F1 races with many of you. We, of course, again, we're just at Miami Art Week, and in between we had the spring and fall FOA retreats, first in Kansas City and then in Connecticut. We spent time in LA and Beverly Hills with a number of you. And so it's been a year of really focusing on connecting in person, on having very robust events, and building out the community and giving all of us a chance to connect with you and you a chance to connect with each other, and sort of solidify the culture of FOA today, and going forward. We want to continue that in 2024. We also want to do is given the expansion of the membership base and the Resource Council, and our want to make sure the offerings and what we're providing really do meet up to exceed your standards and ours. We'll be diving into really deeply the membership website and the offerings that are within that bubble, in the private bubble for FOA members and for Resource Council. So if you are part of that community, you'll be finding really the focus is on the development and update of resources available to you, working with each and every member and Resource Council member on completion and enhancement of your profiles and of the portfolios you have available to you within those profiles. I've spent actually much of the weekend updating the photo gallery with some of the really cool photos we have from Miami Art Week and from the fall activities, and then back through the rest of the year, so that it will be a shared family photo album for everyone who's accessing the site. We have a wonderful media section in there with white papers and other resources to be shared out. And as we enter the new year, we will be really working on every 6 to 8 weeks offering a masterclass series that will span 5 to 10 days, depending on the timing and the topics. Our first one that we're targeting is estimated to be a 10-day masterclass. And so we're putting the finishing touches on that for all of you. And so that goes to the comment we threw out on the last couple of calls, which also is expanding our speaker bureau. We have a number of speakers, certainly for our first couple of master classes and for our 2024 FOA live shows, who will be very, very excited to bring to you. We are also going to have our founding councils and committees who will be helping us kick off the very active advancement of our peer communities. So that will include our impact community that we're very excited about, as well as our lifestyle and wellness, our alternative investments, the next generation group, the international or global FOA family group, and getting everyone connected. So you're going to see a big focus on the time we spend here online with you. and publicly, but then also for members and Resource Council, a number of things made accessible to you in your calendars that are private and within the FOA community. So please be on a lookout for those. And we're, again, really thrilled to be able to bring that to you and respond to many of the asks we've received from you. You will find that we will be updating and revamping. We continue to learn as we interact with the FOA family and with our relationships. We want to be responsive to your asks and be open to morphing and growing in a way that supports all of you correctly. So, in fact, over the last couple of weeks, with the reflections on the year, and even most recently the time in Miami, looking at how we best align the event schedule for 24 with the asks from everyone. And we know that there's been not only asks for a lot more of the smaller and intimate events, but a number of families actually stepping up and saying, hey, I'm in Southern Florida, or I'm in New York or LA, and I'd love to be a host family, helping to create a monthly schedule or quarterly schedule or whatever is appropriate or a doable for each family who's offering, and kick that off in those communities. So it now looks like we actually have 8 to 10, we'll call them our test communities, that will be kicking off next year with now Connecticut, it sounds like, may in fact be every other week. New York is likely to be monthly. And so at whatever interval initially the host families are most comfortable with and can accommodate, we're very appreciative. And we look forward to kicking off those recurring get-togethers in those communities. And so there'll be some structure around that we'll share. If you are not currently a member of FOA but would like to attend, there'll be some opportunities for you to attend a couple of times to various events as a guest, and then determine whether or not the community is a right fit for you, and vice versa. But a lot of those things rolling out in the new year. We're incredibly honored and touched by the support system that has grown over the last several months. The number of you actually reaching out and saying, hey, how can I become involved? How can I be supportive? And how can I help move things forward? So that's tremendous. And we are going to be using the next couple of weeks of holiday downtime to go through all of that and think through it carefully and make sure we're leveraging all of that in the way that is best for all of you. So we'll be coming back to you with updates. In terms of Eric, thank you for the message, and I'm going to flip over the comments in a second, because I know we've got some of you here on the line with us, and I want to make sure I say the hellos and catch-ups. To the extent that you've been sending direct messages to me or to Rush or into the FOA email, please know we are getting them. And again, much of the time we'll be taking over the next few weeks is to go through all of that very, very carefully and be very thoughtful about how we chart out the rest of the next year. We want to make sure, from a global standpoint, there's been such an exchange with families across the world who really feel that what's happening in the U.S. sets a great, and by the way, this is feedback we received from others. So if you share a different opinion, you're welcome to chime it in. And so what I'm about to express is not a statement, but a comment that's been shared, is that the family office structures in the U.S. and maintained by family offices here in many cases have set a bar that others want to follow. And so there's been a big ask for an East-West exchange opportunity and connecting families more throughout the year. And we are very excited about that. So one of the things we are going to be very focused on next year is providing opportunities and venues for more of that to happen. And thank you to those of you who have extended offers to open up your homes and to open up other venues that you are part of. And so we are excited again to keep those things very, very private. Other things that we have for those of you, I know that we've had a number of great friendships this year. We shared events with ACG New York. We obviously shared some events with Freedom Capital as well. And going into the new year, we've been approached by a number of family office communities and others who have asked if we'd be interested in collaborating and being part of those events. So we'll share carefully in the new year the things that FOA is hosting directly, as well as events that are brought to our attention by others who either we will be participating in or who we think will be, something that our members and community may enjoy. And so we'll share that out with you as well. What I encourage everyone to think about as we go into the new year, and I've been talking about our focus on resources and on depth as we go into the new year. We're going to carve that out into two areas. When we talk about family office masterclass and family office training and support, we really do want to kind of, as if you were going through a family office due diligence, let's say, approach each best practice area. That's from financial management, controls, staffing, compliance, background checks, and personal security, in terms of real estate management, and really every area that the family offices we collaborate with and speak with are dealing with, and certainly generational transfer, et cetera. We're gonna spend the 10 days in that master class really going through each area that is critical to the full management of a family office, and take that apart a little bit and talk about what we see working well, where people seem to be having challenges. And we have a number of incredible speakers who will be helping us provide thoughts and resources for you, certainly as informational purposes only. And so I'll share it here so that our attorneys are happy when we get on the call with you later, that it'll all be informational. Please consult with your own professionals based on what is shared with you, as every situation is different. And now that that's recorded and be shared, again, all the powers that be will be very happy, and we can continue forward. Alongside those discussions, we will also be collaborating. I have had a program for a number of years called ROI Mastery, which is really engaged to support mid-market and other high-growth privately held companies, and looking at best practices across the management and growth and rapid scale and exit of companies. And with our On the Rise community in mind, we'll be sharing out those materials in those classes as well. You'll find all of that within the website for members of the community, and certainly you'll have access as public attendees to a lot of the live casts as well. So during the weeks that we offer the master classes, they will be in place of FOA Live, but we'll communicate that out carefully over LinkedIn and through the weekly newsletters. If you're not a part of our newsletters currently, please feel free to go to the website and make sure you've opted in, or through my LinkedIn, and I'm happy to get you added as well to our list so you're getting that information. The biggest thing that helps us as we continue to grow is the collection of feedback, of requests, of suggestions from all of you. So I know a number of you have reached out with your thoughts and with your feedback. And I would say that over the next couple of weeks, we'll be taking sort of an internal FOA retreat to go through all of that. And you'll see our feedback and see our responses very directly. We'll share a lot of that right online through LinkedIn and through our live shows as we kick off the new year, with how we're responding to your requests and the updates. We want things to always be very transparent. We consider you, again, extended family. And so we wanted to feel that way as we go forward. I want to just take one more moment and extend some, tremendous thank yous for this year. And if I miss anybody, I'm going to post it out in the comments later so that I add to it as we go. But Mike Packman, again, as chairman of FOA, he's made a very, very significant investment over a number of years now, and certainly during our involvement in building out the community and on choosing to do this right, with quality and both in terms of the events and in terms of the infrastructure that's in place and that will be continuing to grow. And if you've interacted versus any hard sell or any pressure on the pace of growth for FOA in order to make sure, again, that it's done in the highest possible way with quality. We've had tremendous support from a number of friends. One of the things that certainly I have found, and I'm sure a number of you have found in different situations you've been in, is when you're moving something forward, you have a certain group of people who will say, hey, you know what, when you get there, when you're successful, let me know, and then I'll join in. I want to, things to achieve a certain level of growth or success, so that they're at a level that I want to participate in or that warrants my time. And then you have those few that you really count on who jump in and say, okay, you know what, I know if I jump in, either through my additional efforts and support, we can push harder and we can get there, or you know what, I have networks and I have some power and strength in the community that by my being in the room and by my adding my support, I know I can help you get there much more quickly and effectively and raise all ships. And so we have been very fortunate over the last several months that a few have really stepped in and said, you know what, I'm in. I believe in Family Office Association and what you're building and growing, and who have said, I'm rolling up my sleeves and I will help. And sure enough, over the last several months, we've really seen that in terms of how that's advanced the community and the really what's given then back to everyone as participants. I think it's not simply a matter of FOA internally being the beneficiaries of everything happening, but it's really Miami again really kind of brought to the front and made it very visible how all this is coming together, as well as a number of the text chats and WhatsApps and everything else that we see are really flourishing. So thank you again to those who didn't have to dedicate their time and effort, but very generously have done that. And I think you always benefit from those who help you move forward, and also any situations that provide roadblocks. And so if there were situations that provided roadblocks as well, those have been learning opportunities. Our board of advisors has been exceptionally supportive and incredibly generous. So I want to thank all of you, and we'll be posting out. We have throughout the year done spotlights on everyone, but we will be posting out some year-end thank yous and updates about each of our members. So thank you very, very much. And to our resource council, who very much has been part of that group, who has said, look, I see how things are growing and evolving, and I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of that success. Thank you for jumping in. Certainly we started the year locked in. I want to thank you very much for being the first resource council members who jumped in this year as I stepped in, and then Rush. And for everyone who has followed, we're very, very excited about the path forward. And for those of you who haven't heard from them, you definitely will in the weeks and months ahead. So very, I want to say, different and exciting 24. In terms of, we really feel like 23 has been a process of moving the ship and getting to know many, many of you who I hadn't met, Rush didn't know, and certainly Mike even in many cases, a lot of new faces and friends. So it's been an absolute privilege to spend 23 with all of you. And in 24, we are very committed to doing our service for you. And stepping in and putting in the work and making sure again that it is a community that is providing an environment where you do feel like it is an extended family or family style, and resources that you want to continue to come back to, and a really, really high quality member environment for all of those who have made the investment in being part of the community. To the extent you have questions, suggests, needs, please do reach out. Back to our speaker forum. If you have, those of you who brought speaker suggestions for us for Miami, thank you very, very much. And especially who rolled with all the changes, that turned out to be a phenomenal experience. And please don't hesitate to bring your suggestions forward. We will be bringing you golf and pickleball and all that fun stuff in the new year as well. And really, really excited about the path forward. Thank you very, very much to everyone who's been a part of the FOA family this year. Thank you for all your support, your encouragement, and certainly for the challenges together that we've faced. And very, very much looking forward on behalf of all of the FOA team that you see and those who you don't. So Jamie, I want to send who's the internal accounting and CFO for a number of companies under Mike's, for all of the companies under Mike. Thank you, Jamie, and to the accounting team, legal, HR, everyone else as well who makes this possible. Thanks from everyone, and we'll see you in 2024. Have a great holiday couple of weeks, everyone. Wonderful. Best wishes to you if your holidays have passed and we didn't connect. And happy New Year, everyone.